Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma 3, welcome back to the Prairie Fire Vietnam DLC, and in this video I'm going to be going through the basic commands and controls of the absolutely amazing SOG AI mod by Johnnyboy. And SOG AI has really transformed the way lone wolf players or single player players can play Arma 3, not only the Prairie Fire DLC and the campaign missions, but also lots of other parts of Arma 3 as well. And in fact, this mod is definitely a work in progress. I mean, it's amazing already, but Johnnyboy is adding more and more compatibility, specific compatibility, as he goes on. So what I heartily recommend you do is obviously go over to Steam and subscribe to SOG AI, but also go over to Johnnyboy's YouTube channel and subscribe there and look out for the updates that he does, because as you can see here already, we've got SOG AI Western Sahara. I know there's SOG AI global mobilization, so it's not just within the Prairie Fire DLC. And remember, what this mod does, it doesn't just add a command wheel to the UI, it changes the scripts that control the AI so they are more effective and more helpful in the field, and they can be quite a joy to control. Now remember, this is still Arma 3 though, so there's still plenty of jank, and sometimes it doesn't work. AI still sometimes gets stuck on things, and you've got to go over and order them about using the vanilla system, but I will show you how to do that as well. So when you go into a compatible mission, say you're playing something like, I don't know, Eldest Son from the SOG AI campaign, you play single player and you spawn in. If you go press down or just move your mouse wheel down, you'll see choose group to spawn, and if you click on that with your mouse wheel, you'll see we've got all these options of different groups, and Johnnyboy is adding more groups all of the time, and this gives you great replayability for the missions, because say with Eldest Son you can spawn in with Recon Team Columbia if you want, kind of the historically correct team that you would use for that mission. But how about, why not take a SEAL team in, maybe a US Army Rifle Squad, maybe a squad of Arvin, something like that, just to change up the playability. You could take the Aussies in with you as well. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it, to hear their voices. So, but for the purposes of this tutorial, let's pick Recon Team Columbia.
Form file.
And as you can see, they spawn in, and they're all in their correct uniforms, and as you can see, my character has changed as well, so I match them. Now when we start the mission, if you move your mouse wheel down, you can see we have the option not only to change my player loadout, so I can click on that and we can go in here and we can see we've got all these weapons and ammunition and accessories that we can carry. But we can also, if we look at one of the players, one of the AIs, we can change, let's go closer to them, we can change the unit's loadout as well, so we can change what they've got on. So maybe, like, this guy's got a rocket launcher, hasn't he? But maybe, we could say, okay, let's take that away and let's put RPGs in, and you can go around and you can customize the experience just like that, which is incredibly powerful. See, he's got a Swedish K, has he? He's got an AK. Maybe you could add a sniper. I highly recommend, actually, as well, if you want to improve the playability of Prairie Fire and other Arma missions, is to run Web Knight's dual primary weapons mod, and I'll put a link in the description below the video, because that enables you to carry something like a submachine gun and a sniper, or an M16 or something like that. So we've spawned in, and the core of controlling SOG AI is by you can press the T button and you can learn the numbers, and that's very similar to the vanilla system in Arma. And you can right click, or you could press the backspace button to get rid of that, or you press tab and you bring up the command wheel that we have here. So let's go around and let's just look at the commands first. So there's freeze. So if you click that, your soldiers will stop doing what they're doing, and it will kind of unbind them as well from what they were doing. So for example, if you use the follow me command, the soldiers will literally follow you, and if you crouch, they'll crouch. If you go prone, they'll go prone, and stuff like that. But if you want them to then all say go prone, the problem with that is, if they're following you, they won't go prone because they're watching what you're doing. But if you tell them to freeze, then tell them to go prone, that kind of breaks them out of the follow me thing. Move there, so that's basically where you look somewhere, click that, and they will move forward. I think it's about 100 meters they'll go if you're not looking at the ground. If you're looking at the ground to a certain place, they go to that particular place. Follow me, and you're going to be using that all of the time because you're saying, right, follow me, and they'll just start following you. Get up, from being prone, get down, they'll go to one knee and then they'll lie down. Form a file, great for going through the jungle. Form a line. This is better when you're in a combat situation, so they can form a line, and you've got more firepower heading forward. Lay dog, circle up here, so that's really important. So with that one, they will lie on the ground and form like spokes looking outwards, like a defensive perimeter. Fairly close though, but that's quite cool. And then you've got your stealth on, so if you press that, let's click that now, what they'll do is they'll stop talking to each other to pass orders on, and they will just use hand signals. So if I go freeze, see, get down, there we go, get down, there we go, there we go. You see, so they're all doing that. And then we have leapfrog. Now leapfrog is one of the coolest things. So what happens with the leapfrog is that the team is split up into two kind of sections. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see you've got the green AI members and you've got the red ones. So if we say leapfrog 100 meters, they'll start moving forward 100 meters. So the green team will go first if they're the behind ones, or the red team will go first. So one team stays still and continues firing if there's enemies, and then one team moves forward. Then they go prone, they start firing, and then the other team starts moving forward. So that it's cover and fire basically they're doing. But not only can you do it to attack enemies, but let's say the enemies were kind of were in front of us, but we wanted to disengage. You would look back and you would then say leapfrog that way, and they disengage in an active way. So they'll throw smoke grenades, they'll throw frag grenades to cover their retreat, and they'll leapfrog backwards again, cover and fire, cover and fire. And again, they do it for 100 meters, and then they'll stop and they'll wait for your next order. So very, very powerful, and it stops you getting stuck in that situation that you'll find with the vanilla AI, where they just seem to get obsessed and they won't. They won't come to you. So what we can do now is let's just give them an order to say go over there. So what we can do is we can just kind of look in a general direction, and they'll just go in that direction. There we go. But we need to get them to get up. There we go. Off you go, gentlemen. And then they'll stop when they get so far. And then what I could do is I could say, actually, I tell you what, there's some enemies in this direction. I want you to attack them.
Advance south.
Leapfrog 100 meters. So one team will start running forward, and then they'll then cover the other team. So these guys looks like they're running forward now. Again, this is Arma 3, so you will get jank. So you get situations like you can see here, where for some reason these guys are running forward, and that guy's decided to stay behind.
Move up.
Right. So they've stopped. So, I guess he thinks he's part of that team. So he's moving forward now. Then they're moving forward. So, it's not perfect, but it can be effective. But it's very effective, as I say, when you're trying to get your AI teammates to disengage, because that can be a difficult thing. Because especially with the prairie fire missions, often you are completely outnumbered. So you need to be able to get away from the enemy in an effective manner.
Move up.
So you can see this. So they're taking cover now. And then the next guys are moving up. So let's say freeze. So stop what you're doing. And now what we can say is follow me. And then what we're also going to say is form a file. So I'm just going to start running off. I guess we could walk, couldn't we? And these guys, oh, right, they're all coming. Right, okay, they've overtaken me because I'm going too slow. Excuse me, wait for me, wait for me. And they're all sort of forming a file. In fact, I'll start running this way, then they'll get behind me. There we go. And then I could also do form a line. So they'll get themselves sorted out and they'll spread. An important difference as well to the vanilla AI is that when you've given them a formation instruction like that, like form a line or form a file, If you then say go over there,
Move up.
they'll kind of forget that, and they won't be obsessed with running somewhere in formation, which means they generally can get there faster than if they were go on, keep going,
Move up.
than they would is if they were obsessed with keeping a formation. So for some reason they've decided not to go any further. I think we might be getting to the edge of the area actually. Let's tell them to move over there.
Move up.
There we go. Yeah, we're only in the testing ground here for 1.3, so there's probably a playable area. So they'll start legging it over there. There we go. And then what I can do now is I can now say follow me. Now, you know, we talked about stealth earlier as well. Stealth is really important because what it does is when you have the stealth option on,
Hold fire. Silence.
it means that they won't engage enemies at will. What they'll do is they'll wait for if they see an enemy, if they're an immediate threat and they have a suppressor on them, they will then engage, or they'll wait for you to fire, or they'll wait for the situation to go loud. So what that means, if you look in the bottom of the screen, you see we've got it's all kind of blue, but if I fire my gun, see, they've all gone red, so that means we're in a loud position, which means that everybody can now fire their guns. So if the enemy fires at us with a weapon, they'll all go red, and they'll be in a row. We're out of the stealth phase now.
Hold fire.
We'll start firing. So we've gone back to stealth, so it's only the guy with the suppressors that will engage, unless they think they're under immediate threat. So let's make them form a file, and we can do that and go around that way. Now, you do also get context-sensitive situations as well with, look at how cool do they look, with SOG AI as well. And that can revolve around things like rivers. So if you get to a river and you can see across the river and there is a passable bank on the other side, you can get you guys to swim across the river. If you come across defensible craters, you can roll down on your mouse button and you can say defend the crater, and they will get in. Lots of the missions in Prairie Fire kind of end on an extraction from a hot LZ where there's lots of craters where you've got time to do that. Also, importantly, to get in and out of helicopters and vehicles as well, you look at the helicopter, look at the vehicle, and then you move your mouse wheel down and it will say get in the helicopter. Another really important one is as you can see, if I get it down, we say tail gunner place mine. That's something you'll use a lot in the Prairie Fire missions. So by doing that, it means that the guy who is in last place will put down a mine. So in Prairie Fire, when you're being chased by trackers, you can keep doing that, and they will make sure that they put down a mine, and that will put the trackers off. Now let's see if we get I don't know whether we can. Let's see if we can pick up on something that is. No, I'd have to spawn in a helicopter. So, but that you kind of get the idea. So if there was a helicopter here, you would look at it, go down on your mouse wheel, and it would say red's get in helicopter, green's get in helicopter, and it would say everybody get in the helicopter. Now the thing to watch out for that. So let's go freeze, and let's look down and say do a lay dog here. There you go, lads. Look at that. How cool is that? So they've made a defensive perimeter. Yeah, if you're dealing with someone's late to the party, that's it. Go on then, get down. But what was important there is the fact that I did the freeze and then I did the order. Because otherwise they'll just copy you and they won't go down if they're still on the follow me command. What was I saying? Yeah, so with helicopters and vehicles, what you always want to make sure is you're the last one to get into a helicopter after your team has got in, and also you are then the last one to get out of the helicopter. Otherwise, you can run into a problem where, say you're doing a mission and you get into the helicopter before your squad, the helicopter then automatically takes off before your squad gets into it. Or you get to an LZ to get dropped off, you jump out first and the helicopter takes off before all of your squad has got out. So that's something to look at as well. So here we go. Okay, so let's now go. Right, follow me. Let's go, lads. And off we go again with my wonderful bunch of SOG AI. Now, things will go wrong, okay? And you'll get times perhaps when a soldier will get hung up on some a tree or a rock or something. And what you can do is if you look at a soldier and go down in your mouse wheel, you'll see you get the come to me option. And that means that that soldier then should wander to you, even if there's stuff in front of them that he thinks he can't get through. So that can be useful for people that are stuck. Also, sometimes you may well have to go back to a situation where you're using the vanilla commands. And so if you remember, the vanilla commands are controlled with the F keys. So F2 through F10 in this case. So I can select who I want to select. Or if I press the tilde key, which is the key to the left of the number 1, I can select everybody. And then we can say go there. You can also do things like disable SOG AI for a while. So on some missions, in some places, you may find if there's a trigger, for example, that the team have to do in order for the mission to proceed, you may well have to disable the AI and then use the traditional methods of controlling people, which again is normally like with the tilde key, and you can say move there, or if you press the backspace key, and then you could go to say select everybody with the tilde key and then do the action, the combat mode with 7. Then you could say go prone, and we can control them sort of like that. Now, once you do get involved in things like that and you're mixing and matching the vanilla control schemes with the SOG AI control schemes, it can get a little bit confused sometimes, and you may well find that in order to go back to purely SOG AI, let's see if we can say get up. Yeah, they're probably not going to follow me now. You have to go through a save and restart situation. See what's happening now is because I told them to lay down using the vanilla system, they're all laying down. Let's see if we can tell them to freeze. See if we can get them to stand up. Yeah, so what we'd have to do in this case is press backspace, select them all, 7 for combat mode, and let's say 6 stand up. And they're all going to stand up. Then we can go back to SOG AI, say follow me, and here we go, they're all going to start following me. But if you do a save and then restart, what normally happens then is that SOG AI will reinitialize and retake command of your soldiers, and you'll be able to order them out, or order them around just as you wanted to. But so there we go. So it is absolutely amazing. I really enjoy this because it enables, it's almost like having a little RTS going on, because as the squad leader, especially when you've got so many soldiers who are, they're good at spotting enemies and engaging them, you can almost distance yourself a little bit from the AI. Remember, you do have air support on lots of the missions, so you can concentrate on calling in air support and looking at the map and deciding where you're going, while your buddies in your squad are all involved in looking out for enemies and keeping the rest of you safe. They will also revive you if you get shot, and they will revive each other as they if they get downed. On the context menu as well is when they become injured, you can roll down and you'll see a command that will say heal yourself or heal all. So they'll all, if they're injured, they'll then apply med packs. And if you get down to say, they will try and come over to you, and they'll stop what they're doing, come over, and they'll revive you that way, which is very, very cool indeed. So there we go, SOG AI. It is a work in progress. More stuff is being added all the time. More compatibility is being added all the time. I absolutely love playing with this in the Prairie Fire missions, and I can't wait to play it in the normal Arma missions and in the other Arma DLC missions as well. But that's enough from me. Big thanks has to go out to Johnnyboy for making this mod. Make sure you check out the Steam Workshop and his YouTube, say hello, and there we go. So if you found this video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.